One Patriots player is set to explode onto the scene and into stardom in the 2026 NFL season. We did some of the breakout candidates last week, but this week or today, we are talking about one specific player in general. We'll get to him in a little bit, but I want to ask you guys, who is your breakout candidate for the Patriots this year? I got one guy in mind, but you let me know down in the comments section who you think will be the biggest breakout candidate for the Pats in 2026. Welcome into Patriots Today by Chat Sports, presented by PrizePicks. I am your host, Brett Alper. And who is that one player that is set to explode into stardom in 2026? Well, it's our guy, TreVeyon Henderson, the running back going into his second year, and I think that he is absolutely going to break out. Sports Illustrated, they did an article on Hendo on specifically why they think that he is going to break out next season, and they said this. He said he was second in the pecking order of the Patriots backfield to Rhamondre Stevenson as a rookie, but made the most of his opportunities he did receive, rushing for 911 yards, 9 touchdowns, while averaging 5.1 yards per carry. A natural explosive back. Henderson ranked 5th in the NFL among qualified running backs in EPA per attempt plus negative .03 and 10th in rushing yards over expected per carry according to Next Gen Stats. While he will continue to split carries with Rhamondre, it only makes sense for his role to expand in year 2. And you see, in his rookie year, it felt like, well, he didn't kind of live up to his full potential in his rookie season. But when you look at the stats, it's like, oh, wow, he still almost had 1,000 yards. He had 180 carries, 9 touchdowns, and the yards per carry was actually really good. And also, which we'll talk about in the back half of the show, his receiving ability with 35 receptions. But when you look at those stats and you see 180 carries, which was more than Rhamondre Stevenson, you think, well, he's got to get more, right? And yeah, he is absolutely going to have his role expanded in the 2026 season. He is going to get way, and I mean way more touches going into next season than we saw in previous years. It felt like the memes came out all over Twitter like, well, he's breaking out, but Mike Vrabel's like, we love you, Rhamondre. We love you. But now I think Hendo could expand and go into that first role as number 1. Now, if you look at the Patriots running back depth chart, there's going to be 3 guys on this. We have talked about the running back 3 kind of battle that we have between Lan Larison, Jam Miller, and Terrell Jennings. You also have Reggie Gilliam also going in as your fullback, which is only going to help Rhamondre and TreVeyon Henderson. But we're looking at the top 2 guys, the two-headed monster that the Patriots have. And if you kind of remember what the Lions were doing, it started off as David Montgomery and kind of Jahmyr Gibbs was on the side, but then they started to expand him and kind of give his role a little bit more. And you saw Jahmyr Gibbs with the Lions kind of break out and become that number 1 lead back. And that's what I feel like the Patriots are going to do with Henderson, because last year to start the year, it felt like the Patriots were really hiding him going into the season. Because if you look at the carries that TreVeyon had from weeks 1 through 7, it was only 6.14 carries per game. That is nothing. It's like, what are we doing? Everybody drafted him in the second round of fantasy, and he's not doing anything. But then once we got to weeks 8 through 15, and also Rhamondre went down with that toe injury, his role expanded. 8 more carries per game to 14. And that is a huge jump in carries. So when you look at the jump in carries, you got to assume, well, the yards got to kind of go up, right? Exactly. Weeks 1 through 7, TreVeyon was only averaging 21.8 yards per game on the ground. And weeks 8 through 15, that is when he kind of broke out. He was averaging 88.57 yards per game, weeks 8 through 15. And I didn't go over because kind of a 7-game span of weeks 1 through 7, weeks 8 through 15. The Patriots also had a bye week, week 14. But if you do the math, like, let's go with it. Okay, so if he would have had that role that he had weeks 8 through 15, the same weeks 1 through 8. So let's do the math on, okay, so we go through the week 8 through 15 trend. He's averaging 88 point however many yards per game. If he is doing that over the course of a 17-game season rather than the Patriots are giving him, all right, let's give him 14 carries a game. Let's give him 88 yards per game through a whole 17-week season. because the first weeks, that really did not show what TreVeyon Henderson could do. So now let's do the math here. Boop, quick math. I did it already for you. He would have got 1,500 yards on the ground with 14 carries per game if he would have gone on the trajectory of averaging the same exact thing that he did weeks 8 through 15. He was absolutely lethal in the running game. And we remember some of those breakout runs, specifically against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, bouncing outside for that 75-yard run. The 2 runs against the Buffalo Bills in week 15, where one, he went out right and then bounced out left. And that was what we saw, truly what Henderson could do. Now, he had a little bit of trouble inside the tackles, but that's where you bring in Reggie Gilliam. Henderson is absolutely going to break out in the 2026 season with the expansion of the Patriots offensive line and just his ability to learn more of the Josh McDaniels system. And I think that is going to help him go into his second year. But we also cannot forget about Henderson in the passing game, because we talk about, oh yeah, TreVeyon is an amazing runner. He is an amazing player when it comes to bouncing outside. His breakaway speed is undeniable. But what is the one thing that the Patriots fans were excited about TreVeyon Henderson going into the season when we first drafted him? What you saw at Ohio State specifically in those college football playoffs? Well, his ability, hey, I'm going to catch a screen pass and I'm going to break free for 75 yards. Well, that is one thing that I think is also going to get expanded into the passing game. But I'll ask you guys, his rushing projection for Prize Picks, it's not that high. Not that high at all. And it's at 699.5. And he had 911 yards, and you saw those projections where, hey, it was only like 7 carries the first 7 games, and then now it's 14. It's going to be 14 probably once we get into the season later this year. So I'll ask you guys, let me know down in the comments section. 699.5, more or less, you let me know. And if you also want to get some more projections on Prize Picks, we have TreVeyon Henderson's right here. You got the rushing yards, 699.5, but the rushing touchdowns, he had 9 last year. So look at that. You can go with the more, or you can go with the less with the rushing touchdowns at 5.5, or the rushing yards at 699.5. And not only can you do that on Prize Picks and add them to season-long lineups, you can do many other, because we use Prize Picks here every single day here at Chat Sports. It's the best place to win cash while watching sports. And if you don't want to wait for those season-long lineups on football, you can also do the big soccer tournament going on. Baseball is underway. Big golf tournaments. It's the perfect place to win cash while watching sports. And guys, we got a new user offer for you. It's super easy to use too. You just got to pick more or less on a few player stats and lock in your lineup. So if you download the Prize Picks app today, use code HMA to get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. Then you get that $50 in free lineups. And the link will be in the comments and description of today's video. That is code HMA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It is good to be right. So when talking about the passing game, I was looking at some of his stats, and 50% of his snaps came in the passing game. He had 500 snaps on offense in the 2025 season. 50% of that came in the passing game at 250. And when you look, we know in the Josh McDaniels type offense that they love throwing to the running backs. When you look at what Rhamondre did, 32 catches. He still had a huge role in the offense in the passing game, but TreVeyon kind of held up like kind of that under-the-radar type guy, 35 catches. So that is a total of 67 between the two of them. And now with another year of experience in the Josh McDaniels system, we are going to see his numbers rise. We are going to see TreVeyon Henderson's role expanded not only in the running game, but also in the pass-catching game, because that's what the Patriots love to do the most, which we've seen beforehand in the Brady era. It is that dink and dunk type of play. Hey, we're going to do that 2-step drop back, dump it off to the running back, and he's going to gain 4 to 5 yards, maybe even some little times, because that is the little runs that you have up in the middle of the field. It's not those, hey, we're going to do draw plays. We are going to throw those quick dimes. We're going to throw those quick passes. And when you look back at the past of what the Patriots did using those running backs in the passing game, This is in 2023, maybe 2022. I think I made a mistake on that one. 2022, they had 89 receptions with the running backs. 2021 was 86. 2019, 120. And 2018, 108. Those are all receptions by running backs. And if you guys remember, who was the running back when they had 120, 108? Well, it was James White. And James White had multiple years where he was catching 60, 70-plus receptions on the offense, and he was also running the ball. Don't you think that, hey, well, the Patriots want to use the same type of role, the same type of scheme that they have with TreVeyon Henderson that they used with James White back in the day. Kind of replicate it, kind of have that same system, because they are kind of similar in the same sense where Henderson does have a little bit better in a running game, in a running sense, but he's got better speed, but he still has that same capability of being able to catch out of the backfield. And I know 100% that Josh McDaniels wants to make Henderson the role of James White from back in the Dynasty era. And Henderson, he wants to be that role. He spoke during the offseason that he wants to continue to develop, continue to be that perfect running back for the New England Patriots and get better each and every single year so he can fit his role on the team, not only as a runner, but also as a pass catcher. This is what he said. He said, the biggest thing I want to do is continue to develop blocking and just during this time running routes out of the backfield, catching the ball out of the backfield. That's what he said at media availability earlier this month in June. This is a time when we can really just continue to enhance those skills, specifically those two skills, blocking and passing. I definitely want to continue to develop. So that's something that he was doing to kind of go into this year. What do I need to improve? It was the blocking and it was the receiving. And the blocking, oh boy, it extremely, and I mean really, really needs improvement, because that was the one thing that Henderson really struggled with going into last season. It felt like, why couldn't you play him that much? Well, because the blocking was absolutely terrible. When you look at his overall grade, it was fine, 68.0, the run blocking grade, when hey, we're running with another running back when you use that two running back system with Henderson and Rhamondre, but the pass blocking grade, 27.8. That's bad. And he was allowing, I think, as a running back, he allowed 3 sacks specifically himself. And it kind of was like, well, we have to play Rhamondre more to be able to pass. Because right now, 27.8, that's one of the worst that I have ever seen. There were multiple games where he had a pass blocking grade of 0. And we know that the Patriots are going to use that run game. They are going to use the play action a lot. But this is a primarily pass-first team. When you have Drake May, when you have A.J. Brown, when you have Romeo Doubs, that's the one major thing that you're going to have to do is be that blocking running back that the Patriots need to have that extra blocker to give Drake May more time to throw the ball to A.J. Brown. And that's something that we really need TreVeyon Henderson to improve, and I believe that he will. I have the confidence that TreVeyon is going to be one of the best running backs in football next year. He has that capability of being that great runner, that great pass catcher, and that great run or pass blocker ability, because what was the one thing coming out of college, out of Ohio State, that he was better than anything? It was pass blocking. So that is one thing that I have confidence that he will bring to this team in 2026, and I absolutely believe that he's going to be a breakout candidate next season. But the real question is, will he take over as the starting running back next season? I want to hear from you guys before we get on out of here. Let me know down in the comments section. Will Henderson take over as running back 1 next year or next season? Give me a Y for yes or give me an N for no down in the comments. We are just about a month away, guys, from training camp, and we're going to get you there. It's going to come quick, but we have stuff to talk about all throughout this entire month. So make sure you hit that sub button. Let's get to 50K subs. And as always, let's go Pats.